We're gradually winding down, and I think we have just 2 more days to go in this journey. And at this point in time, we need to have a deeper reflection on how the last 37 days had been. And what we want to look at basically is just to evaluate what your growth status has been, because this has been over a month, and it's good that we just take a pause and evaluate all that we've discussed, all the principles, all the tools, the techniques, how these has really, really impacted our lives in a negative way, in positive way, progressive way, retrogressive way. We need to have this candid evaluation and see whether the next 48 hours, 48 hours, 2 days, is going to really save the day for us. Because like I said from day one, if you go through this to the end mistakenly, your life cannot remain the same. And that's the whole idea. So I'm going to begin with this question, and I would like to take a poll on this. I think that's where I have the poll. I'm going to share a link in the WhatsApp. No, it's not WhatsApp. Because I can't connect from this to Zoom. If I was using Teams, I'll be able to connect directly from the page. But let me just share this. Where is the link? So I need you to, sorry, I'm trying to copy the code. So basically, you just go to menti.com, menti.com. So you might want to type that in your browser and go to that website while I do this very quickly. Okay. I think I've gotten it. So please just let me know if you see the message in the chat box. I'm typing it now. So go to www.menti.com and then I'll just click on this. Click on this. Let's see whether it's going to open. Please let me know if you can see the question on Menti. And once you are there, you can just answer the question. Is anyone there? Please let me know if you are there.
It's still loading for my end. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
You're there.
I can see the questions.
Okay. So please just go ahead and answer the question. I'm going to share my screen now so that you see the responses. So everybody need to answer this, please. Everybody really need to answer this. So please go ahead. In one word, I want you to tell me what the last 37 days have been to you. In one word. In just one word. Are we all there? Please, if you are there, let me know, because I think it's only
I see here it has, you can submit multiple responses. It has like 4 boxes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So each box, I'll write one word?
Yeah, just one word. Just one word and submit. Yeah, just submit.
Okay, I'm there too, so let me submit.
Yeah, so just go ahead and submit. I should be seeing your responses. I'm not saying yet. That's why I'm saying this. So just submit.
This is requesting for a code to join?
Yeah, so you can see the code on the screen, 86697922. That's the code.
Okay.
So people are started submitting. Mentality shift, loaded, impactful, enlightening. Okay, more. Let's keep, please, keep bringing it on. All responses. I think this is from Dr. Shadi, if I'm correct.
Nope.
Okay, I can see adventure, growth, eye opener, wisdom, inspiring, mindset shift, transformational, wisdom, exciting, knowledge, challenging, inspiring. Let's keep coming. More, more, more. Let's keep it coming. Is anyone still posting? Okay. Prophetic, transcendental. Okay. Any other word? Any other word? How's this journey been with you? Growth, self-discovery. I'm trying to look. Okay. Intimidating, mind transforming. Okay. 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 Overwhelming. That's okay. Yeah, that's the only new thing I see here. Overwhelming. Who else? Is that all? Revealing. Okay. That's a new word. Any other new word? I think that's pretty all. Yeah, mind shift again. Mindset shift. Okay, so I mean, just look at these arrays of words. These are your words, from the wisdom to transformation to change to prophetic to enlightening, to knowledge, challenging, to growth, discovery, to revelation. All these things are so profound, right? They are very profound. And okay, yeah, terrific networking. The person that said terrific, okay, if that's how you feel, interesting. Uh, I mean, yeah, thank you. I saw consistency too. Even personally, that resonates with me. It's very good for you to. I mean, this is just the typical way that you want to handle your life. When you have actually walked a path, for you to be able to refire, to rekindle, to revive, to make some kind of restoration of lost energy or to recalibrate, it's always good to take a pause and then have some kind of reflection. Some call it a retreat, right? But I don't like using the word retreat because that might mean that you are staying off course or you are staying away from your duty, whereas it's not. You are still on the duty, you are still at your duty post, but you are just trying to catch some breath. Okay, so that's what this is all about. You're trying to reflect, you're trying to think over the experiences and see how these deeply relate and make sense with you. Okay, so if truly self-discovery is what makes sense with you, the question you now need to begin to ask yourself is, what are you going to do with this? If you think you've been able to connect transcendentally, what are you going to do about it? If you think you have been inspired, if you think you have been transformed, if you think you have been challenged, if you think your eye has been opened, if you think you've had some kind of revelation, if you think you've connected to some form of mindfulness practices, if you think you are now wiser, if you think you've developed a new set of habits, the question is, what are you going to do about all these things in those words, keywords? What are you going to do about them in order to facilitate, your chances of succeeding and fulfilling purpose? So that's what this is all about. And you always need to ask that question. Each milestone, each phase you get to in life, make sure you always have that kind of reflection. Okay. So thanks for everybody who has responded to this. So I think I can go back to my slide and see what I would naturally reflect on, as my keywords. So let's see whether it flows with yours. Unfortunately, okay, yeah, I think it's just only one word that was mentioned from this that I have highlighted. I think I highlighted quite a number, close to about 10 or 12, but I just put out this 14. So the first one talks about discovery, which is where we actually started from, talking about self-awareness. So I'm sure that you must have uncovered the hidden strength within you. You must have seen those four part of yourself, your non-self, your known self, your hidden, revealed self, or your blind self, So you must have realized areas where you stand in these dimensions. And of course, talking about your SMART goals as well. And when we conducted analysis on yourself, to SWOT analysis on yourself, to know your strengths, your weaknesses, your areas of threat and areas that gives you opportunity. So you must have realized your full potential. I mean, these are just basic assumptions. Having journeyed for over a month, in this program. So these are basic assumptions. So life cannot be lived the same way because you now have a better knowledge. You are now wiser. Okay, you are now more knowledgeable. You are connected transcendentally. So you can't just live life the normal way you have always known to have lived life. Then the other word that connects with me has to do with discipline. I love the fact that some of you mentioned other keywords that relate to this. Talk about consistency. You know, the main focus or the driver of consistency has to do with self-discipline, of self-control. For you to be able to cultivate certain habits, which I told you, the number of days that is required to have a repeat of certain actions or character for you to be able to call it, uh, um, something that forms part of your strength or part of who you are, a major component of yourself. It requires that level of discipline, commitment, and focus. So that's another keyword that I would use, typifying what the experience has been so far. Then the other one has to do with gratitude. Gratitude, being able to appreciate the journey, being able to appreciate everything in life, being able to appreciate those small wins, even the moment of failure, which I define to be failed attempt, and not failure as it were, as we all know it, but failed attempt. So being able to appreciate that as part of what gives you the stepping stones to move and elevate, and of course, progress itself, because you have been able to see that it's not about the stagnancy and you can't even afford to be stagnant. You're going to commit to doing everything humanly possible and possibly also connecting transcendentally to ensure that your life is not stagnant. You're enjoying progress either in iterative form or incremental form. That progressive elaboration of your life is being sustained. And that's why throughout last week, we talk about how you can gain traction and momentum, how you can sustain the tempo of your progress. So these are words that I would easily relate with as part of what I've experienced or what I believe you too should have experienced if you have dutifully followed through up to now. Okay, let's look at the next thing. Reviewing the journey so far. Time will not permit us. I will have deep dive into all the core dimensions of life that you highlighted, because each of you, if you had done the assignment, you must have listed the different dimensions of your life. But let's again evaluate this for the physical aspect of life that has to do with health and wellness. Have you been able to experience any form of improvement in your lifestyle, any form of improvement in your choices, any form of improvement in your emotional well-being, in your mental well-being, your physical well-being, your fitness, and all of that? So you need to evaluate that and ask yourself that question. What has your life been at the time you started and now after 37 days? Then in your career, how has this principles, the subject we've discussed, how has it impacted positively on your career? Has it enabled an advancement? Has it enabled productivity? Remember when we talked about productivity hacks? Has it improved on the level of skills that you have, even the requisite skills that you use, leveraging on opportunities in your career? Have you experienced upskilling? Have you experienced, an upgrade on those skills? So these are things that I would like you to reflect on and ask yourself, because that is what will make the journey to have made sense. Then, looking away from there, we'll look at relationships, depending on what type of relationship you want to evaluate or reflect on. Okay, how strengthened has your communication been? How effective has your communication been? Albeit work relationship, marital relationship, or personal relationship. That's intrapersonal. That's within yourself. How much do you think you now know yourself, and how much are you relating with yourself? So it's good that this journey must have given you further expose about yourself in attempts to understanding other people as you relate. Then remember when we discuss on building rapport, building trust. These are vital subjects, and sessions that dealt so much about how you can connect and build that sustainable relationship with people across different dimensions of your life. Then, looking at the fourth element of this review, your personal growth, starting from the first point of emotional intelligence, which is self-awareness, to the point where you begin to have control on yourself. Okay, you can self-regulate. So how much have you been able to attain this? Okay, how much have you been able to attain this? Because it's very, very important. These are things that typify your growth. Things that normally, there's a certain way you normally would have behaved, but now that you know better and with wisdom, you know that your words has to be few. When naturally you will have exhibited your weaknesses, you know now that you are not going to be that which will, amplify your weakness and then subdue your strength. Rather, you want to, manage your weaknesses, put it under control, and celebrate or magnify your strength, so that what the outlook of your life will be, what people will see, is going to be your strength, not your weakness. So these are things that will precipitate and exemplify that you're actually growing or you've grown. I know we started this conversation a few days ago about challenges, and I've asked again before we started this, but it's good that we also put this on our reflection list to know what challenges you faced and what challenges you're facing, or what challenges do you think you're going to face again, because the journey is not over until it's over. And like I mentioned, that it's more like a lifelong journey. Journey of purpose is a lifelong journey. It's not a destination. It's something that you keep working at as long as you have your breath in you and you're living. Okay, you keep working, to the end. And the end, as we know it, is not what we call destination. Okay, so are you facing issues around consistency? Are you having challenges about certain obstacles which you have identified? And how do you plan to deal with those obstacles? Then do you have issues with prioritization in dealing with time, which I think is commonality here, because almost all of you have talked about challenges about managing time in making attempts on the assignment and submitting. So if these challenges are actually true, the next thing you need to do as you reflect is, what are you going to do about them? Because it's not just enough for you to know that you have challenges, there are problems, there are issues that need to be resolved. Is what kind of decision you're going to make in resolving them so that they are solved. And I've given you an hint. In terms of prioritization, you need to begin to deploy those time management skills, tools, and use techniques. You can leverage on technology. If you don't practicalize them, then the problem remain unsolved. The challenges remain unresolved. So you need to ensure you probably go back to go and yeah, thank you, Dr. Falashade, for that reminder. Yeah, so as simple as learning how to say no, this is also part of how you can be able to resolve the issues on time management. I remember part of what I supposed to have achieved today, I had to postpone it to tomorrow because I could afford to procrastinate on it. So sometimes when you are trying to, okay, well, maybe you don't call it procrastination because it was a conscious effort I took in order to be able to achieve bigger results, and what it means was like it can actually be delayed. Even when you are doing project management when you're managing time schedule in project management, there are certain things we call activities that are on the critical path. What that means is they are always equated to zero when you run the activity series on the nodes, because if you don't perform those activities as at the time they have been scheduled to be done, what that means is it will result into project failure. Okay, because every other activities that are totally dependent on them will also remain undone. So it's very critical. So when I discover that this particular thing is on the critical path, why then do I have to then make my day to be horrible or horrifying? So I just had to postpone it to tomorrow. It can wait till tomorrow. And then went in for it. And I was able to make my day a fulfilled one, you know. So this is the reality of how you continually live and juggle in between things, for you to achieve success. Okay, so the other thing I think you need to reflect on, because by now you must have experienced some level of disruption. By the time you got into 2025, I'm sure if you're like me, you will have done some kind of goal setting, pretty much earlier in the year, maybe the first week in January, or even before you moved into the new year. You must have done your goal setting. What are the things you want to achieve this year? And trust me, I haven't gone through this. Maybe there's been some kind of disruption in your goals. Okay, so as you reflect now, what you need to do is now to be sure that, excuse me, what you need to be sure that you've actually done refinement on those goals before you move to begin to take action. Okay, so you need to look intently again into those goals. If you think that you want to achieve certain things, now that you have greater wisdom, now that you have learned new things, you have been challenged, about those goals. You need to reevaluate them and be sure that they are actually the right set of goals that you need to pursue. And don't be deceived. Sometimes you might think you know what you want. You might need to reappraise for you to analyze using some of the things I've shared with you in terms of the principles, putting them in view of your purpose and the overall impact it's going to have. Those are the small indicators that you can use for you to make detailed analysis and evaluation on your goals, so that you want to be sure by the time you're ending the year, when you are making the final appraisal or doing some retrospective personal sessions, then you can celebrate that you actually pursue the right things and you have moved your fulfillment of purpose to a greater distance. So, in refining your goals, you need to look at the current situation of these goals that you've previously set. You know, how far have you gone with them? What level of investment have you made in pursuit of achieving these goals? Okay, do they require some review, elaboration, make some possible adjustment to them to refine and be able to, the process of refining is you are kind of like improving on what would eventually become the outcome of these goals, right? If you need to rescope, if you need to uh, um, re-expand the timeline, these are part of refinement process. So it's not just about you adding new things to it, which in terms of scope management, but also in terms of time management. If
You're muted.
wow, please, what did you hear last? This must have been my hand.
No, you just did it just now.
Sorry.
I said you were only muted for like 2 seconds.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. So if really what happened in your case is you set your goals on a short term, but now realize that it's a goal that needs to be placed on long term or a medium term, then you know that this is part of what you need to do for refinement. So you can adjust the timeline and you're then realistic. Remember, smart goals needs to be realistic, specific, measurable. It has to be achievable, then it has to be realistic, and it's definitely going to be time bound. So that's how you conduct the refinement. Then, if it requires you to set new goals, please don't be scared, right? That means that you need to bring in your deep understanding about how you set new goals. So it's not going to be casual as you've done before. Pick up those tools, your smart goal tools that I shared with you, or any other one you want to adopt. So possibly set it in a proper way, which must align with your purpose in this case, so that you don't have to come back doing another reflection on how you need to align it with your purpose. So have an issue as you set these new goals, make sure it aligns with your purpose, and then you strategize on how you want to pursue. Okay. And that's what will now take you into creating your plans. Don't forget all these things we discuss about it. So once you're able to set the goals using your smart goal toolkit, make sure you do your adequate planning. Plan on how you want to pursue and achieve the goal within the set time. If there are going to be any specific resources that are required, if you need to make some level of investment, such as this, as part of your action plan, you need to identify and then be able to put everything within specific timelines when you want to pursue and implement them before you now begin to execute. Okay, so that's what refining is. And on the final note, I want to just encourage you that you need to be resolute on ensuring you progress in your growth journey. So the journey technically is not going to end on the 40th day, right? It's not going to end on the last day. It's something that should encourage you to continue and not stop, even though we're going to end this, right, on the 40th day, but your life journey continues. Your growth journey continues until you have fulfilled your purpose. And everything we've done is just to give you a well-defined pathway which you need to continue in. So each step we've taken along the way are more like your stepping stones. They are more like, the bridge that connects where you've been before to where you're going. So you need to keep on the lane and continue to practice everything that we've discussed. And I can assure you that what will be the resultant outcome eventually is going to be your success, as we have defined. Not because you're going to have more money. If your purpose requires that, you surely do. But because you are definitely going to have these streams of impact that you're making along the way. And I want to believe from our conversation yesterday and 2 days ago, you must have started looking for opportunities in areas where you begin to, practice mentoring, and also begin to look at opportunity to leave legacies. Okay, so these are part of what you will add to your continuous lifelong journey, to your continuous improvements on yourself. So I give you thumbs up, and I will begin to congratulate you from here, because I think it's a good point to begin the congratulation, because you've come this far, not because it's not daunting, not because it's not something that could have ended a few days ago or a few weeks ago, but because you persevere and you defiled all odds for you to have taken all the bold steps up to this moment. So congratulations to each of you. And I look forward to seeing how you are going to reveal yourself, not just only to yourself, but to the world, because the world is looking for your deep revelation and what you got to offer to your growth experience. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and I'll open the platform again. Perhaps there are other things you want to share as regards your experience so far, and if there are any area of personal challenge that you want me to address here for others to also glean from, please, you're free to talk. Yeah, Dr. Shadi, you can unmute.
Thank you so much, Dr. G.
You're
I
most
still
welcome.
have, as you said, 48 hours to go, but I'm so happy that um, I was accepted to go on this journey. I remember seeing your post on LinkedIn, and I saw that I was like maybe a day or two late from at the point that you said that we should respond. And I think it might even have been the day that the program was starting or the day before. And you immediately accepted me in, and so I appreciate that. um, I mean, so much I've learned and so much I've been reminded of, and what I thought I knew but wasn't putting it into practice. You really helped just organize the information and the how to make it more digestible, and to remove that glass ceiling um, that was accompanying me from taking action, and to see that all the capabilities are there. What I don't know, learn, and just make that a cycle, um, and growth. And so I do want to share with the group that remember we were talking about volunteering, and I was explaining that I had begun to editing this person's book. And so we sat down today to go over um, the corrections and stuff that I made on the book. And she said, let me interrupt. She said, the Lord has just dropped this in my heart that you really should be getting paid for this. And she said, you know what I'm going to do?
Wow.
I'm going to, she's like, come up with a name, come up with a logo and everything. And I'm going to feature your editorial services. And she's creating a handbook that's going to be handed out at a conference that's going to be um, up to about 750 people. So she said she's going to feature my editorial services there. Um, and, I mean, I'm doing this thing for her for free, never even considered being paid. But look how quickly value and gratitude can really show up in your life. And so I'm excited. And, I owe it to this program. Thank you, Dr. G.
Wow. Wow. I'm excited to hear this. I'm excited to hear this. This is just spot on. Thanks for sharing this. That's just how simple life is. I mean, you never can tell where this opportunity will come from, So please, again, I think this should encourage someone, make sure everything we've painstakingly, discussed through this journey, you find a way to practicalize them. There is no crime in trying. There's no crime in, putting this thing to test. It's just like someone that is casting his bread upon many waters. There will always surely be a return. If not immediate, it's like when you sow, it's a natural law that there's definitely going to be harvest. So make sure you put all these things to test. And this is just the beginning. You can be rest assured that there's going to be greater fruit come out of this, whatever it is. I remember, just to corroborate what has just happened to you, um, it wasn't just immediately I got out of school that I got a job. I think there was just more like an intermittent space, like an intermission kind of. This is a young, vibrant guy that was thinking he's going to just jump out there and get picked up, to start delivering value. But here I was, just lost within myself and thought life is going to collapse all over me. So, I mean, the only thing I could turn on to was just to look up to God. So I ended up just throwing all my weight on God, like whatever it is, I'll just go and start serving. I just found myself always in church looking for opportunities, what to do, how to serve, how to help people, and all of that. And right there, I remember very, very well. It was on such occasion, ideas just like coming to my mind that, oh, you need to look into this area. I mean, I was even practically thinking I was going to get a job within that small community, but God began to open my eyes and began to see opportunities in different places, even places where I thought I never stood a chance, and that's how it happened, with true volunteering. If I'd locked myself up within myself, like life is all odds against me and I can't move forward, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm sure I wouldn't have freely gotten those ideas on what I needed to do for me to connect out there. So please, whatever it is you are going through, whether it's expressive or is not, whether it's something you can articulate to communicate um, openly or not, just always have at the back of your mind that what can really save the day for you is when you think on serving other people. Because in doing so, as you are making life happen for others, the forces in higher dimensions are going to also move on behalf of the impacts you are making to be able to make things happen for you, as long as it's with a genuine intention fixed on your purpose. So thank you for sharing that, Dr. Shadi. Thank you. Any other comments? Any other thing you want to share? Challenges? Um,
Sorry,
so that
I just want to add this comment.
okay,
Uh,
okay, go ahead.
just that, for me, all glory goes to God, and it really boils down to your sessions on spirituality and integrating that, and understanding seasons, understanding when doors close, when opportunities are coming around, and showing up and being just in a position to grab, like I think you said before, seize those opportunities. And so I just want to give God the glory for allowing me to be sensitive enough to understand that even if I'm not gainfully employed, in any traditional sense, that there's still work to be done. And as you have mentioned before, that it can be effortless, applying to jobs every day. Sometimes it's like a full-time job. You're doing these applications, and it can be discouraging. But when you are spirit-led, you'll find that things will start to become more seamless. So
I can relate perfectly. Trust me, I can relate perfectly. I've been there, and I remember when I made up my mind that after almost about three different interviews, and I kept on my own volition. I'm like, no, I'm not going to work here. Sometimes I would just do it for the fun of the fact that just to reinforce and tell myself, because at that point in time, I was almost going to lose my self confidence. So just to be sure that I'm still self aware about my intelligence and all of that, I'll just make those attempts. And I did with a number of companies, reputable companies, and almost at the end, I would just on my own volition decide that no, I don't want the people. At the end of the day, my key lessons was the fact that while I was looking deep into working in those organizations, God has a better offer. He has a better opportunity for me, which is me setting up my own enterprise, starting my own business, starting my own company. And I cannot forget, I think it was a book by um, um, John C. Maxwell I read, that talked, no, it's not C. Maxwell. I can't remember the author, but what the author was just trying to talk about was to differentiate between the employee and the employer. There is no amount of money you can earn as an employee to an employer that you will be as rich as the employer, except you're a thief. And you know what I mean by that. I mean the person that is paying you a salary, that is engaging you to run an organization for him. You can't be as rich as the CEO. You can't be as rich as the owner of the business himself, who has a higher stake on the business. So I mean, at that point, I was just like, oh wow. So what I really need is not to just have a stake, is for me to even be the owner of the entire business. So that's what totally transformed my life, and I stopped looking for jobs. Afterward, even till now, when offers comes, come and pick you, I was like, over a decade ago, I've left this pathway. I can never come back there again, no matter what I'm seeing on my entrepreneurial journey, right? I would rather keep pressing and, keep improving on myself, because it's a journey I determined that I would never go via that route many years ago. So this is going to help you. Trust me, it's going to help you and give you perspective to life, in order for you to see from a better vista, and not just living that competitive and highly comparative lifestyle that many people are engaging in today's world. So thank you once again, Dr. Shade. Thank you. Okay, any other person that want to share? Yeah, Agbero, you can go ahead. I hope your network is going to be stable enough for you to express yourself. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, my network is okay. It's nice, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Bolahan. I think I actually have a lot to say, but my network has been messing up lately, due to changing locations and everything. However, me trying to actually um assess myself as this mentorship class is concerned so far, because there are some phases that I've kind of encountered this year. I mean, in terms of rejections, of course, but me trying to now reassess myself. How do I even manage these phases? When you've planned everything on how you're gonna make everything work, you've reached out to external bodies, and everything is on plan already. But all of a sudden, everything is just changing, and just have to manage rejection. You guys have to manage disappointment and everything. And I was just asking myself, how do I even manage this? Because the number of rejections and disappointment that I've kind of uh get this year, that I've received this year, at times make me feel as if maybe the year is almost ending itself, because we are still in February, right? So, but along the line, I was like, I still have my confidence so intact. I still have everything. Like, I'm still so much optimistic. And along the line, evaluating myself and everything, I realized that it's as a result of um this mentorship class is part of what has actually built my confidence more. It's part of what has shaped my mind. It's part of what has enabled me to actually have right mindset in tackling, life peculiarity and uniqueness in every phases and everything. And of course, talking of volunteering. Volunteering has really helped me, and I've given to the cause of volunteering, definitely. And also, I'm the kind of persons that uh, it is through this mentorship class I was able to actually assess myself and realize some strength. Part of it is that I'm the kind of person that I write better than I speak. Actually, I write better. I mean, in terms of writing, I express myself boldly, confidently, especially better in writing than speaking. And I've realized that this is actually my unique strength. And looking at it, I've been applying it lately, which is definitely I'm seeing changes. Like at times I go through some of my conversation with people and I realize that wow, this is actually is this mean? Because normal it's before it will have been maybe conversation that will not have end productively. But maybe sending mails, replying to messages lately, it has been bringing productivities. I mean improvements in expected result and everything. And I truly want to appreciate the opportunity once again to have the same floor with Dr. Bolahon to learn under you and with like-minded people here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I truly appreciate.
Yeah, thank you for all that. You are most welcome, and I'm glad that you can see some growth in your life. That's the whole essence and the whole objective of this journey. And would have done ourselves the service if you have not attained this. Or just based on what you said, just to encourage you further. Um, Remember when we discussed about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset? It's about perspective, it's about the optics. Yes, you might be seeing discouragement, rejections, but that's not truly what those things are. What they are stepping stones. Like I said about failure as well. A failure in itself is not failure. You only see failure in the negative sense when you quit. Um, I'm sure after a while, maybe by the time you get to the next phase of life, when you look back, you will definitely thank, God for the opportunities you've had to have even experienced those rejections because they will add more sense to your journey eventually. Because if you don't navigate through those corridors, you wouldn't be able to attain where you are going to attain to. So just see it as part of the package along your journey. Life is suicidal in nature, it's not smooth, it's not a straight path. It's curvy, it's that's why we call it navigation. It's not um never with obstacles. So part of the obstacles are these things. So what you do with it is what will determine your next level of manifestation. So don't see it as rejections, just see it as an opportunity for you to rethink on what you need to do better, right? I remember about 12 years ago when I decided that I want to really pursue my my professional career. And I mean, of course, what I had in my BSc is the only thing I could build upon, nothing else. I was highly discouraged because it has to be me resetting my entire academic life. When they told me that even the degree I had in school is unaccredited, I mean, I'm sure the architects here can relate with this. When you spend 5 years in school and all you could get out of it is useless, is not acceptable. And I went to one of the best local schools here, and you could imagine how disappointed and how I mean, so it was that kind of mixed feeling for me. So I mean, I had to pick up the challenge and see what I could do. Started a journey, frustrating journey. I mean, this thing has been lingering for how long now? For too long. At a point in time, I almost gave up, but I said I'm not going to give up. But all along, what I did was to now leverage on all the things I've taught you. That's why I said they are all relatable experiences that have piled up over these 4 decades. Because if I didn't learn these things, the path would have been impossible for me, right? Whatever it is I've attained now, I wouldn't have been able to get to this point in life because everything on the pathway tells me that it's impossible. You shouldn't go. I'm telling you, I mean, there's no way you can practice without having a license. And if you want to get stuck in a studio where you are being paid a stipend, is even the worst kind of experience anybody can get. So I mean, I just had to rediscover myself and leverage on the fact that I know my strength, which is tending towards being versatile. You can't box me, all those things, that makes me who I am. I need to find expression for them, and I need to place myself where I can fully achieve my potentials. And that was the deal breaker for me. So rather than just working in one stream, I started diving into different industries, and to now top the whole icing on the cake, I got employed into an organization that exposed me to all these major industries where, I would ever dreamed to work in, starting from construction to mining to telecoms to oil and gas, to civil engineering, infrastructure, energy, manufacturing. I mean, so what would take me naturally a lifetime of professional practice, what would take me a lifetime, of career development, took me just barely about 4 or 5 years to develop, and don't forget, still without any license to practice. So that's a major turning point. And I still thought about it. What else can give me leverage? I'm versatile, so why should I get stuck in this career that has too many roadblocks and obstacles? I started delving into other areas of disciplines, and in the long run, I've even lost counting of how many degrees, how many certifications, and all of that I have. Which so this is exactly what you need to begin, and that's what growth mindset means. You cannot be stopped. You cannot be limited. You need to know that, and you leverage on your strength and be able to achieve that progress and the level of increase that you need. You've made attempts on several exams. There are too many other exams you can do that will even give you better opportunities. So don't let the the failed attempts on one particular exam now be what will become your limitation, and like, oh, you are not good enough, that's why you failed this. There are so many other ones you can still pass. So don't just step away from it, you come back to it, but go and look for other things that you can do and still attain yourself. And the more you do this kind of discovery, the more you see that you are not just average. It's just that this is what life has told you that you don't need, and you don't need to struggle with it. Embrace the one that you really need, that you're going to be at best in. And then by the time you navigate all around, along the way, you might still come back to this and still examine it. So that's the way you should handle life. And I'm sure that you're going to do best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can I still take one? Yeah, Utman. Are you just hearing that? An architect now, so you know.
I'm surprised
Uh,
that you're not licensing now.
do you know how long it took me to get my license
Wow.
after graduating from school?
How long
Took
was
me
that, sir?
about 14 years. 14,
Wow.
14
What
years. Yeah, one
long,
for 14 years.
long.
So, and I still have some of my colleagues up to now that haven't gotten. So that's the kind of impossible limitations. I mean, sorry, obvious limitations that structures that the world and all of that will create. So you can't be limited by all these things. You can't be limited by all these things. It's just like someone that they place a mountain before you and it seems insurmountable. How then do you navigate through it? So you think this is one of the mental assignments or mental uh, tests I give to people. In emotional intelligence, they place a devil, they place a witch before you, and the witch insists that you are not going to go through this road. So how are you going to go through it? If you shoot, it won't die. Facts. I mean, you can't kill a spirit. So how are you going to conquer and still pass through? So just look at life from all these dimensions and then leverage on all that you've learned and be sure that you progress. Okay. I think we have just about 2 more minutes. Any other comments? Anyone wants to share or ask question? Say another thing? Oh,
Yes, sir.
close.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
good. Bravo.
Okay, so first of all, I want to appreciate you because
I know that having patience for people to learn something is very difficult, and you've been very patient with us, and it feels like it's just like someone having a child that doesn't know anything, doesn't know how to do anything, and you patiently lead that child till the person is able to crawl, from crawling to working, from working to be able to think for him or herself. So that's how I feel about this uh, class. So thank you for your patience and for doing this. Then concerning the assignment, I usually like Comfort said, I usually like to listen to the videos if I do it. But because we have a very tight deadline, I'm going to hurry over it. But to plead that maybe when we do something, improve it, can we get your attention to maybe speak with us about it or talk about the improvements?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for bringing us back to the issue of the assignments. I've thought deeply about it. In fact, I mean, before we started the journey, I resolved within myself because I think just about three people, yeah, just about three people I knew at the inception, those that started with us, just about three of them I knew. And none of them is even here. You can imagine. So I I thought within myself that okay, to make this journey even easy for myself, I will immerse myself and do like as if or be like as if I'm also within the journey and trying to learn and rediscover myself. So trust me, from day one, I wasn't just doing this for for you people. I'm also doing it for myself because that's the way I embraced the program. Otherwise, maybe I would have given up after 20 days, to like, oh, these people are not even serious, kind of, because if you know what it took for me to prepare for this, man, I shouldn't come to class and just be talking to two people or three people or four people, but I've seen it, I've programmed my mind that it's also something I need for such a time as this. And I'm going to go through, even if it's going to be myself alone or myself and one other person, we'll still go through the journey. And that's what really helped me throughout the journey. And regarding the assignment you talked about, yes, I mentioned it repeatedly before now. I'm still going to be there. I mean, I'm still in your space. For as many that will still remain within the connection, you can always reach out to me anytime. In case I'm extremely busy, let me just give you a secret. WhatsApp may not be the best way to reach me. You can still chat with me on WhatsApp. And I mean, I try as much as possible to still catch up with people on WhatsApp, but may not be the best way to reach out to me. Mails usually, or just go to my website and kind of like use the booking reservation because those I've automated. My mails I receive automated AI alerts every now and then and all of that. So I can easily respond to that or just ask my assistant to attend to it and schedule. So usually I'll prefer a scheduled meeting. I'm going to be much more committed to a scheduled meeting than not, after this scheduled program, So, but try to leverage on our relationship, try to leverage on the connection we built so that it can be a sustainable one because the more you stay within my space, the more you see that I can give more time to people, So don't just run away and after maybe 5, 6 months, you are coming back again and all of that. It's going to really go against everything. If you are really going to come into becoming part of my coming to the boundaries and the rapports, you have to ensure that you consistently remain, and all of that. So those are just the things I will have to say. But hey, feel free at any point in time, you can reach out and not just about the now, even your future faces. If you think that we need to connect, please just feel free. So assignments, for those of you that are here, what I'm going to actually do, because I've told myself again yesterday that at least those of you that have consistently in the past 2 weeks been here, whether you finish your assignment or you don't finish your assignment, automatically you're going to receive your certificate. And then I can allow you to, at your own pace afterwards, you can submit all the necessary things because it's going to help you. So if you don't submit, that means that you still have incomplete experience of the program. So make sure you still find time, do it, submit, and let me have a review so that at any point in time when you connect and we need to discuss, I can leverage on your submissions to be able to also help you. It's like you giving me a heads up about whatever it is, and that can be part of my EQ repository for me to be able to interact meaningfully with you and help meaningfully. So rather than conducting another forms of assessment, blah, 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 which might be necessitated if we discuss, but at least I already have all this, and so we won't have to spend too long a time for me to be able to have conversation with you. So that's my final verdict, and I just give you an expo, just like what Doctor posted down. He said cheat code. So at least I give you the second one. I said tomorrow you are going to do a bit of an assessment, so I hope my team will get that set up before tomorrow. Okay, I think we should close now so that we don't end up spending another next 30 minutes. So tomorrow we're going to catch up and begin to do the final winding down.
Thank you so much, sir.